Welcome back to the BagFather. I'm Marlon, also known as the BagFather himself.
And I'm Jen Zemba, also known as the Bag Lady. We're back for Season 2, diving even deeper into the world of baggage, innovation, and the people who make air travel actually work.
Last season, we went behind the scenes with everyone from airline leaders to tech pioneers. And this time we are leveling up, talking AI, automation, passenger experience, and the future of baggage.
Plus, plenty of laughs, stories from the ramps, and occasional lost bag mystery or two.
So whether you're in aviation, tech, or just love to travel, grab your headphones, subscribe, and join us as we unpack Season 2 of the BagFather.
Because in baggage, there's always more than what meets the belt.
We have had many airline guests on this podcast, and the one thing is always clear. Baggage is one of the hardest promises in aviation to deliver consistently. Today, we are joined by Europe's leading airline. We know Lufthansa is investing heavily to set a new benchmark in baggage. At the time, like every airline operating at scale, performance is under constant pressure and sometimes rightly questioned. That tension between ambition and operational reality is exactly why today's conversation matters. We have spent time inside Lufthansa's facility in Munich, in Frankfurt, and in Switzerland, giving us a front row of the complexity behind every bag that moves through their systems. This episode is a proper deep dive into how baggage innovation actually happens inside a global airline like Lufthansa. And we are joined by baggage expert Anja Schumacher and Juergen Lehmann from Lufthansa, working at the end of the baggage strategy, digitalization, and operational change. We are very pleased to give them the platform to share their efforts. And yes, we may throw in a few critical questions along the way. And if you want an honest operational view of how airlines are really thinking about baggage today, this is the episode for you. Welcome, Jen. Welcome, Anja. Welcome, Juergen.
Hi, all. Great to be here again. Anja and Juergen, how are you?
Yeah, we're great. Thank you.
Can you share more about your role as senior managers at Lufthansa before we start?
We are responsible for baggage products for the whole Lufthansa group, not only Lufthansa Airlines, but the whole group of airlines. As you know, Lufthansa buys airlines every year, and we are always responsible for the whole group. For us, it's important to have a consistent experience for our customers throughout all airlines. If a customer flies with Swiss or with Lufthansa with Brussels, they should always have the same experience concerning baggage products, but every airline still has its own identity. So that's never easy to harmonize, but we try to do that. And we are responsible for baggage products in the future, enhancing what we have today, plus what do we want to see in the future. And as well as we are dinosaurs in this, in the airline baggage business, we also do hands-on stuff, like in those chaos summers of 2022. We were sitting in baggage halls in Europe and in Germany for 10, 12 hours, just processing bags so our customers get something after 2 months not hearing anything from their bags. And I learned everything from my wonderful colleague, Juergen, everything I know about baggage.
You're definitely a great team. I had the opportunity to visit you multiple times, and yeah, it's my pleasure to have you on board. Hopefully today, Jen and I can get a better glimpse and share that with the world about all your efforts. So let's start with it. How is Lufthansa approaching baggage innovation?
Yeah, it's very important first to listen to our customers. That's very important for us. The second one is to scan the market, the industry. what is coming up, what technology is upcoming, and combine both. In the past tense, we often were very, very quick on new technologies and figured out something what could be a new service. Now we have a separate approach. So first of all, we ask our focus group of passenger. Imagine that happens. What do you think about it? Would you use it? Would you are willing to pay for that? On which location you like to see this new service? That gives us an idea what is especially behind the markets in Europe and how we should install new services.
So you guys are taking care of all operations, but also looking at the innovation side of things.
Yeah, it's more the innovation part and improved services that we have today. Like we have our partner department is focusing on the operation, on what happens today. And we are always looking into the future, asking the customers, what is your pain point? And if we have those, we sometimes have weird ideas about innovations and what we see on the market or with other airlines. And as Juergen said, we have a focus group of customers and we ask the customer. A weird idea from the two of us, the dinosaurs, might not be something that our customers really want. Maybe they say, okay, that's a stupid idea. No, I wouldn't use that. So in asking customers and using their knowledge, their experience to really work on innovations is super valuable.
And I'm known as a very critical person when it comes to airlines and airline performance. But the last thing I would give to you guys is you guys being dinosaurs. It's purely the experience that you have. I know, and that's the reason why I cannot tap into that suggestion of being dinosaurs. I know your guys doing a lot and working closely with some vendors and making sure that things are getting better. But tell me, those focus groups, they intrigue me, because everybody says we put the passenger and the passenger experience most important. What is the basic concern of the focus group? What do you hear most, and how do you prioritize your innovation based on the feedback from the focus groups?
We have special focus groups that means top tiers and economy class travelers and so we are able to address a special question or idea to a special group, selected group of passengers. That means they are fans of Lufthansa Group, but on the other hand, they are critical. And so they tell us the truth, what they feel when they travel, have a travel experience with our groups, what is not good, what could be better. And so we challenge these groups with new ideas and say, so imagine you are a co-designer. What would you give us as an idea how we should bring a new service in the market? I think that is very interesting to listen to the answers of our questions and learn a lot before we start with a trial and a prototype. It's a better approach. That's our experience from the last years.
And do you get those comments unfiltered, or are they such a fan that they are a little bit biased?
It depends. When we start a questionnaire for a focus group, prepare the questions, and we have free text fields as well. So we say, feel free, tell us everything, what is missing, what is your comment to that and that. They are very open, and so we get special answers. That means we ask, would you use this service? Yes, no questions. And on the other hand, we have space for personal feedback for the customers and ideas as well. And at the end, sometimes we say, oh, there is something in we had never on the radar. That's very interesting for us. Thanks for that. And it's a win-win situation for both sides. It's very interesting for passengers to see they have influence with the feedback and the experience they have as a focus group and a traveler group.
So can you talk a little bit about, after you collect all of this information, what does it take to get something to a point of concept, and then also how long do you run those POCs for before you determine that they are right for your operations and can provide the solutions that you are seeking?
It's different. It all depends on how much money do we need to invest. If our customers tell us, yeah, that's a great idea, we would use this service. First of all, we need the budget, right? If you want to have it for all those Lufthansa Group airlines, it's pretty complicated to get the okay from all of them. Sometimes we start with just Lufthansa, just to make it easier. We're looking for providers to do POCs with them. And then usually a POC depending on the product, you need at least 3 months to half a year to get really valuable data. If the product works, to get more customer feedback and to improve things like that. So it's a process that takes quite a while. And sometimes you have great products, but the effort is too high. During COVID, we had a drive-through test center in Frankfurt, and we tested you could drive through the COVID test and then had a drive-through baggage drop-off. So customers really came with their car, we took their bags, and then we transported it to the airport. Customers thought it's great. It was free of charge. The feedback from the customers was, yes, I would even pay for that because it's so comfortable. And we tried to find a solution to have that implemented for the future, because customers came back the next year and asked, where can I drop my bags in the drive-through? Do you still have that? No, we don't. Because the logistics behind that was so high and it was so expensive and took so many resources that even customers thought it would be a great service. We are not offering this anymore. It's still in our hands because it was our baby and customers loved it. That's why maybe someday we will have a location where it's really easy to drop the bags and then bring them into the airport system.
Yeah, it's interesting. It was the valuable time during the Corona phase because it was very easy to start new projects, and there was nobody who made restrictions as well from Lufthansa. They were at home. And second one, the authorities were very lame at that time. And so we're able to start new services without asking each one and do it. And the result was something our passengers loved. And after Corona was finished, they all returned to the normal positions. And then they said, okay, you are not allowed to have tents on that place longer than 6 months by law. And so remove it. So that was the end of a good service. But what we learned was it was a perfect time for us as product management to show we are quick, we have ideas, we listen to our customers, what is cool at the moment, and just do it. I wish sometimes we would have such a situation again, not the situation with Corona, but the situation with make it. We trust you, try and do it.
I love the idea of getting rid of a couple of management layers inside airlines, because I think that will help a lot of innovation. Me as the BagFather, I'm completely independent, and I can say remove a couple of layers of management. But I actually am also very curious about restoring confidence with passengers, because bringing new ideas into the market is one thing, but we screwed up over the last period of time. And I'm saying we. Uh, it was not only Lufthansa, there were multiple airlines that had a big impact on customer confidence in baggage. I know a lot of people who just say, I never check in a bag. I don't buy it.
You know what? I do something every person involved in baggage never does. If I travel, and I travel a lot, I always check in a bag. Always. Because I on one side, I want to experience what our customers experience. I want to get the experience if I travel on other airlines. I want to see what are they doing concerning baggage tracking, for example. What kind of information do I get before? How is the baggage drop off? How is the baggage delivery? Things like that. So I always check in bags. And in all those years, once my bag was missing. And you know who? J.O.D. left my bag behind in Frankfurt. Personally, yeah. So that was once. But the recovery was the perfect example. Things like that happen. And I know that our customers understand that bags, if you have transfer flights, that bags are left behind because the time isn't sufficient. But I think the way the recovery works is the main point. I would love to never leave bags of a customer behind, but things like that happen. It
It's the
depends
reality.
on
Yeah.
what you do then. How transparent is the information? How fast are you? When my bag was left behind in Frankfurt and I was sitting in Kitchener, I had my bag on the same day in the evening in my hotel, which is brilliant. This is something I thought, oh damn, Air Canada. But then in the end, when I had my bag in the evening, I thought, okay, Air Canada, you did a brilliant job with that. And the information, the communication was really brilliant. So this, I think we can't fix that left behind bags, but we can improve in how we handle that.
You're tipping on a point, Anja, which makes me curious as well, because the communications sometimes go inter-airline. So that means there's an effort required from, for example, Star Alliance in your case, that United, Lufthansa, Air Canada, Singapore Airlines, they need to line up and have a sort of basically the same communication. And I know there's a huge difference between the airlines. And as a passenger, that confuses me a little bit. So what are your ideas about that?
Yeah, but first, we're always working on our own airlines. And we have, for example, we have a huge joint venture with Air Canada and United. So we're really working with those airlines together. We have a full day workshop here in Frankfurt. They are all coming, United and Air Canada, to work on that baggage recovery, on the communication between the airlines and the communication towards the customer. And Starlines is working on a project on baggage recovery as well. So you will see a lot of what you just asked in the future. So as well with our joint venture and within Starlines, we're working closer together, having better communication between the airlines, because sometimes it's you check the bag with Singapore Airlines transferring on a Lufthansa group flight and your bag has been left behind. Then sometimes each airline is looking for the bag and the customer doesn't know, is it in Singapore, is it in Frankfurt, in Munich, in Zurich, or wherever in the world. So we need to be better in communicating with each other plus communicating towards the customer what is the status of the bag.
I would like to hear a little bit more. You talked some about all that was happening during COVID and how easy it made some of your proof of concepts. Can you talk about some of the solutions that came out of that time frame?
We started in the beginning of the year to develop eRush together with Fraport. And we did test with 5 stations within Germany and Europe. And we wanted to test does it really work? Because we have the fully automated version where even the RL codes are set automatically. And we wanted to test this for a while. How do the stations work with that? Things like that. But then this horrible baggage chaos happened. And within 1 week, we decided, okay, we do the rollout to all stations worldwide, which saved Frankfurt. We didn't have thousands of bags like other stations because we had this eRush or auto reflighting, which is working super in Frankfurt. We have it in Vienna as well, the Fraport version, and we're constantly improving it. And that was still this COVID situation. We were still in that COVID situation, so IATA wasn't present at that time. So we just did it. We did the messaging, we did everything. And then on the next IATA meeting, we talked to IATA and to all the airlines and told them what we developed with Fraport. And today, eRush and auto reflighting is a standard.
Yeah, and interesting is that it was driven by a lack of staff. That was on each airport after the COVID time, the same situation. Then weather conditions were very bad, and both facts leads to this amount of baggage. And at the end, to be honest, we are in the same situation. We have lack of staff on each airport. That is a limiting factor. And so it was very interesting for us to analyze the special situation 2022. And we tried to bring in new services based on that fact that we will never have such amount of staff working for airport than before. And so everything we do is driven by that theory. Do something, more automation, more AI related services. That's the future.
It's interesting that you are tipping on this labor shortage discussion. This is something that is happening worldwide. It's not only Lufthansa who has that problem, but in all honesty, a lot of technology is already replacing or at least reducing the strain on the ground staff. Sometimes you can do with less people, or you can basically plan better. That kind of technology play a role for Lufthansa, actually.
Do you mean robotics, automated vehicles?
For example,
Okay.
robotics, autonomous baggage carts. We see everything right now.
Yeah,
if you've listened to our podcast, there's a whole array of things that come by. But I'm curious, what does it do to Lufthansa, and how do you prioritize the technology? Because the labor staffing, that's a fact.
We are in constant contact with the department that does that. It's Stuart Holstock, our colleague. He's into those ramp automation projects, like automated passenger bridges. Lufthansa Cargo is testing automated vehicles that are going on the cargo location from the storage to the aircraft. It's already working. They want to test several robots for unloading and loading. So we are looking on all the new technologies and really evaluate, is that something feasible for us? It's really hard to get, for example, testing autonomous vehicles at an airport because you have so many really security constraints. You have to ask the airport, even if you just want to install a camera somewhere, you have to ask the airport, or the airport has to install that. So we are lucky that we have Lufthansa Cargo, who have their own area in Frankfurt Airport, and they are testing autonomous vehicles, and it's really it's a success. They will do more and more.
You mentioned, or Anja mentioned, the autonomous passenger boarding bridges. That's a world on itself. I had the opportunity to see the one at Frankfurt Airport, and I know Delta is deploying them on the biggest airport in the world, in Atlanta. And if you see the jet bridge as the main element to gather a lot of data across the apron, you can basically do a couple of things that you just said. So I'm very happy with those innovations. Pretty much involved. I also know that you guys do a lot on customer service side of things, because I know that a lot of complaints coming in, and most of the complaints are about baggage, or at least 50%. That's what we have heard. And there's a lot of improvement on that field, and luckily AI is helping a lot here. And I'm very happy that you're explaining this, because passengers don't see this. Passengers see still the old system, the old process, and the old expectation. That's what they see. And behind the scenes, there's a lot going on how we can leverage technology, especially in baggage. And Lufthansa is doing a hell of a job. And one thing I wanted to ask you earlier in the conversation is, how did you adapt to sort of passenger-facing tracking, like the AirTag or the combinations with the AirTag? Because United is doing a good job. How do you guys deal with that?
We use the personal tracking devices. If a bag is left behind for more than 48 hours, if we didn't find the bag for more than 48 hours, we send the customer a notification if he has a personal tracking device in the bag, and if he would like to share the location with us. Because most of the bags, and that's what customers don't know, most bags travel with the customer. There's only really a minor percentage that is left behind, because we improved a lot since that COVID crisis. And most of those bags are with the customer within 24 hours. So if a bag, and those little numbers, then we ask the customer, do you want to share the location of the tracking device? What's our dream of the future is that we combine that we can show the customer a really transparent tracking that includes the tracking device of the customer, plus the messages that we get out of baggage handling systems and BRS systems.
I have a question. I'll try my hardest to get this out correctly. I understand that you guys do some interfacing with focus groups, but I'm also curious about how things come to market. Are you collaborating with coworkers to figure out what their issues are within operations, or are you having suppliers that come to you with a solution and then figuring out if it answers a problem for Lufthansa Group?
I think you need to have the whole picture. If you have a great product for the customer, but the agents at the airports can't work with the tool, or they don't understand what we're doing, then it won't work, because they are the ones that are facing the customer. If it's the check-in agent or the boarding agent or even the flight attendant on board, if they don't know new tools or innovations and they don't promote them, or like telling the customer, oh, you have that electronic bag tag, I think I'll put a real baggage tag on your suitcase because this never works. The customer won't trust us. So you have to, when I travel, I always talk to the agents at the gate, the agents at Lost and Found, and ask them, what do you hear from our customers? What's your feedback on that tool? What do you think we could improve, or as well after COVID, that was a great initiative. We didn't have enough check-in agents, enough gate agents, and we from administration were able to support those, the gates, the check-in halls, things like that. We had our iPads. We went into the chaos and answered questions and really work with the customer. So you had our own staff plus the customer feedback, and we could really guess what should we do to improve the customer experience, including the feedback from our coworkers.
I like that. It seems like too often the innovation groups are not interfacing fully with operations to even understand what solution they're trying to provide.
We're talking to everybody.
And Jen, it's funny, that they presented themselves as dinosaurs in this industry, but turn out that they do a really good job in interacting with their working staff, applying new technology, listen to their clients. And at this point, the passenger might not trust any airline anymore, but we are heading into a new world. And quite honestly, me personally, I think Lufthansa is doing a good job. So I'm not that harsh that you might think I was. I had the opportunity to use Lufthansa very recently. That was a fantastic experience, I have to say. Thanks for the upgrades, by the way. And I would like to understand what excitement and what exciting developments can traveler expect in the next period of time. Because if you have your program, but I can also imagine that there is something on the horizon which you would like to share with us.
Yeah, what we love to offer is we have old terminals in Germany as well. Frankfurt was built in the 70s, and in case we have bad weather conditions, earthquakes, within half an hour, the terminal area is full up with passengers. You are not able to steer them to the relevant points. And to provide that, or to provide new services, at the moment we're testing more and more of terminal baggage drop-off solutions. What we have since 1 year, that is established service in London with Airporter. So we have in Frankfurt and Cologne the possibility to pick up luggage at home on request. What we learned is that is a different situation from the market in UK. The focus group are young families with children. And in Germany are they so-called silver ages, 65 plus. They have the money, they have time. Okay, come to my home place. I'm here. It's okay in a time frame of 6 hours. No problem for me. So for younger people, we love to offer a new service with a locker. That is something what we test now, and we like to install it in front of railway stations, hotel areas, and so on. So you can book like an Amazon locker or a Post locker, a locker case, and we have a very smart logistic partner behind who's able to bring in the experience with KI for planning, AI for planning the tours. And we open baggage for 30 hours before departure. And in that time frame, up to 4 hours to departure, we're offering the service. And that is just a test, but we asked our focus group again, and they said, oh, what a cool idea, please make it happen. And there are the 3 most loved locations you should try and figure out. And fun fact, we learned from our tent drive-through solution, whatever is on wheels, you are allowed to locate it without any allowance from an authority. That's German law. So we bring it on a trailer and we are able to park it in a hotel zone or the next week wherever you like. That's very interesting. And what is not allowed in EU due to custom service to deliver the baggage at the end of the journey to the home place. And that is the answer on our question, why do you not willing to book our pickup service from home? It's a good idea, but at the end of my journey, I have the same trouble. Maybe I'm traveling with a mountain bike. It's so cool that you come with a van, pick up the mountain bike from my garage at my home place and bring it to the airport because I'm not able to transport the bicycle and the cover for the bicycle. At the end of the journey, I have the same trouble. I'm staying at the claim. I receive my my bicycle, and I have no possibility to transport it at my home place. Together with the custom service, we are planning a trial here in Germany to make it happen, that we are allowed to bring the baggage to the home place. At the end, transparency for the custom service could be the key factor that they say, okay, win-win. We have more information and okay, we allow that you bring that service in. We have a special process designed with the custom service, and we hope we are able to test it this year. So locker solution plus the special service delivery at home could bring more possibility to have options as a customer.
But there's even a cooler project you have, the baggage biometrics.
Oh, yes.
That's something for the future. I don't know if the dinosaurs will still experience that around the world, but you are working on that already.
Yeah, the idea is, and sustainability staying behind. The paper tags are awful. What we see is more and more self-services are worldwide with drop-off units installed. That means special baggage tags that the passengers glue together by themselves are on place. Very easy without any paper. At the end, we have new X-ray machines with curtains before, very, very heavy curtains from Plumbum. And more baggage tags will be switched off, erased from the baggage, from the curtains. At the end of the day, an airport is collecting 20, 30, 40 pieces of paper tags, and that leads to more clarification from tagless baggage. So we have a new terminal, Terminal 3 in Frankfurt. It will be opened in April this year. And consequently, they installed in the conveyor system camera-based baggage tracking points. That means our idea, baggage biometric, will be part of the technology in Terminal 3. So, okay, that's fine to steer baggage in the unit with cameras, not looking and reading the barcodes, but we need a network at the end. And so our idea is until end of this year to have 2 stations, and with one flight we will show, yes, we are ready with that technology to bring baggage in without any baggage tag. In the background, we have the messaging from RP 7045, everything fine, but no need to print out a baggage tag, no need to steer the baggage via scanners. You can use cameras, and at the end, the second station will be able to identify the baggage after arrival. That is a game changer, and that is something that the dinosaurs like or love to see until we are retired. That is our the biggest change. Yeah, we're able to provide electronic bag tags. That is your new idea. Yeah,
and that solves a lot of issues, not just operationally, but safety and sustainability.
Juergen, what a brilliant idea. And
Thanks so much.
with that bombshell, I actually think we should.
You never
should wrap
heard
up
about it, right?
It's completely new for me. Thank you very much for joining us today. It was fantastic. Jen, take it away. And hope to fly Lufthansa soon.
I love the conversation that's rooted in operational reality while infusing with innovation and talking about technology to solve solutions instead of just tech for the sake of tech. So appreciate you guys being on with us very much. And I have, next time you come on, I'd love to hear about what issue you have with no apparent solutions yet. So think about that for our next time we get to interview you guys. But for anyone listening who works in airlines, airports, or baggage technology, this episode is a reminder that real change happens when strategy, operations, and people are properly aligned. Thank you for sharing your experience and insight with us on the BagFather. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you are subscribed, share it with someone in the baggage world, and join us next time for another conversation from inside the industry. That's it for this episode of the BagFather. Thanks for tuning in and joining us on another baggage adventure.
And if you like what you've heard, don't forget to follow us, to subscribe, and leave us a review. It really helps more baggage lovers to find our show.
And if you've got a story, innovation, or opinion from the world of baggage, we'd love to hear from you. You can reach us on LinkedIn or at BagFather.com.
And a big thanks to our guests of today and to everyone helping us make baggage smarter, faster, and more connected.
Until next time, safe travels, smooth transfers, and no lost luggage.